So, I just watched Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, Tim Burton's much anticipated and somewhat out of the blue sequel to the original Beetlejuice. Yes, I did say his name 3 times, didn't I? Well, I guess he's feeling shy today. Nevertheless, I have to say, I was fairly impressed. It has been many, many moons since I watched the original, but I still have fond memories of it, and it does come from that era where everything Tim Burton touched was gold. Everything he did was a smash hit, and somehow I, for one, think that Beetlejuice Beetlejuice manages to recapture some of that old gothic magic, if you will. We've got the long awaited return of Michael Keaton as the shape shifting, raving lunatic, infernal demon monster Joker wannabe himself, with all the creepy charisma that entails. There's a really fine line, I think, with with characters like Beetlejuice, where you don't want them to be too crude and overbearing and just horrible, um, but you also don't want them to be like you don't want them to have a clean act either, and you don't want them to be entirely polite or inoffensive, because it's sort of the whole point of the character, really. But his jokes and transformations throughout the movie were were pretty good. I thought they struck a, a delicate and brilliant balance. Uh, in the context of a comedy, I was also just kind of blown away by some of the very odd mix of practical, almost kind of hammy plastic effects with the very crisp, high dollar cinematography and techniques of the modern day that gave everything that like combined it gave everything such a dreamlike quality, and it really enhanced the already crazy events of the movie itself. um, I loved just about everything, really. Winona Ryder as an older, more experienced, and possibly even more strange Lydia Dietz was particularly and perhaps predictably excellent, while the inclusion of Jenna Ortega as her daughter Astrid was actually something I was a little bit worried about. The only other thing I'd ever seen her in it was Wednesday, which I actually kind of enjoyed. But I was still very much impressed by her performance because she plays a very reserved character, and maybe something of a stereotype, right? Is someone who doesn't believe in ghosts and has such issues with her mother and everything. But she really impressed me. She did a lot with the character. So yeah, and okay, spoiler alert, and really, I guess a slight spoiler alert for the whole movie. I'll avoid major details. Well, spoilers, okay. Okay. So, obviously, Astrid does rather quickly uh, change her mind about the whole ghosts aren't real philosophy, especially when she finds herself in mortal danger. Or would it be immortal danger? Anyway, and meanwhile, Lydia has to sort of team up with the Juice himself in order to rescue her daughter. Um, and it ends with a very kind of sweet mother-daughter moment, right? So they sort of get some closure for their issues, and yeah, it's sweet, And my God, if that wasn't one of many, many different plot lines in this movie. The beautiful and messy thing about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is that if I tried to explain the entire plot of the movie, I wouldn't have much time to actually review it because we've got Monica Bellucci as a soul sucking demon, Beetlejuice's medieval cultist ex wife, and Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's in this. I had no idea he was going to be in this, to be in all honesty, and he's playing like an undead actor who's pretending to be a detective, but also for some reason has actual authority over the undead ghosts police force. It's a whole thing, and just like everything in this movie, subsists solely on vibes as opposed to reason and logic. But it's a comedy and a funky ass one at that, so it works. I mean, there's a number of great sort of gags and jokes that I really enjoyed. Like the Soul Train, which is apparently a reference to something I'm a little bit too young to understand properly. But there's also a whole deal with Beetlejuice's inner child, who's a demon baby, who makes a few memorable appearances. It's a wonderful movie, I think, with a tried and true message and an impeccable cast that carries the movie through every slow moment, every odd scene, and slightest misstep, of which there are few. And thanks to Ryder and Keaton, Ortega, and O'Hara, even, I barely even noticed. Um, yeah, I think it has become a bit of a fashion of late to ridicule remakes and reimaginings and all these much too late sequels to beloved shows and movies. But I think this is how you do it right. In my not so humble opinion, none of the old characters were really crapped upon. Burton and Co. took the high road on that front, and they were able to deliver a movie perfect for the spooky season. It's wacky and chaotic and pure evil, but in a good way. I loved it, and I sincerely hope that this means we're looking at a bit of a Tim Burton renaissance. Uh, yeah. So, like and subscribe if you liked my review, or if you didn't even. It's, won't hurt you at all. I've been Connor Landon Freeman, writer, game designer, and lover of all things spooky. Yeah. So, yeah. Bye.